What's up, everyone? This is Gail Dudley, and it is time for News in Motion. It is Tuesday, people. It is Tuesday, March the 22nd, 2022, and it's time for some headline news. So come on up in the room and let me know that you're in here. Give me a holla, give me a shout. Who's in the room today? Who's tuning in by audio? I know you can't respond, but you can always let me know later. And then who's also watching the video? Also, from time to time, go ahead and let me know that you tuned in to the audio. We greatly appreciate that. I see you, Jeffrey Allen James. I see you, Latrice Jones. I see you, Lori William Wallace. Good morning to all of you. Y'all know this is a live video broadcast. It's live also on audio. So when you hear me saying good morning, it is 7:25 a.m. Eastern. We're in that time zone, so that's when you're hearing me say good morning if you're listening to the replay. But of course, I just want to say thank you for allowing me an opportunity to share with you as a portion of your day. I really appreciate you. I see you, Shirley Nicholson. I see you, Dana. I see you, Felicia Williams. I see all of you. What's up, Deborah Johnson, girlfriend? What's up, Shardenia? Hey, y'all. This is still Women's History Month, and I saw Shardenia's name come in here, so I want to put this out here real quick. And that is, go ahead and put in the link things that you have going on so that we can support you. Y'all, Shardenia is always doing something with vendors, vendor relations. So if you ever want to get in on anything like that, make sure you make contact with her. She is on the thread. If you're listening by audio and you're saying, I want to get that information, all you got to do when you get stationary, come over to the News in Motion Facebook page and just look for today's episode. Go down the thread and make that connection. I don't know who that LinkedIn user is, but I'm glad to see you on here. Adrian, good morning. And the reason I say I don't know, because it just came up as LinkedIn user. Good morning, Pastor Alex. What's happening? If you post one more picture of you on that beautiful ocean, and you just kind of like, you send us those pictures like, look where I am. You know what? I'm going to just have to, I don't know, block you, delete you, something. No, I'm just joking. Tell Laura I said good morning. I see you to my brother. I see you, Davia. What's up, girlfriend? She said, good morning, gorgeous. Good morning. What's up, Marion Jackson? What's up, Diane Ladybug? Deborah Johnson saying life, career, and transformational coaching. Y'all need to check her out. She knows what she's talking about. Listen, if you ever want to establish a foundation, allow Deborah to coach you in that for real. Good morning, Ron Robinson. So go ahead, y'all. Yesterday, Nawana Turner's mother joined us. And then I didn't read the whole thing because y'all know they're moving as I'm looking off to the side. And she was letting us know that her daughter wrote her story. You heard her story here on News in Motion back in October about domestic violence. She wrote her story in a collaboration project. If you go back to yesterday's news thread, you will be able to see that information. Y'all loving this necklace? Thank you. What's up, Deborah Sneed? Lori says, set the atmosphere, interior decorating, and home decor. Good morning to my sister, Patricia Lyles. Y'all, we got a lot of news. Y'all know I got to break down what happened yesterday, too. Y'all know that's in the news. But y'all, again, it is Tuesday, March the 22nd, 2022. And if you have already gotten up and had your prayer time, I'm going to ask you again to go back into a time of prayer for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. I always want to make sure I'm saying the name right. She's going to need it. She's going to need it. Yeah. I threw something at the TV several times yesterday. I see you, Tracy. What's up, girlfriend? All right, y'all. You know what we got to do? We got to get this news started. Valerie said, it was me. I was the LinkedIn user. What's up, girl? You didn't have to come over here. I like it when you're over there, but it didn't come up with your names. I was like, who is this user? But I'm glad to see you over here on the Facebook side. All right, y'all, real quick. Council on Foreign Affairs, Ukraine rejects Russia's demands. They cracked me up making demands about something that doesn't belong to them. Yes, they wanted them to surrender Mariupol. Ukraine's defied Russia's demand. They're like, you ain't getting nothing. We can't get you up out of here. So that is continuing to fall out. Hong Kong moves away from strict COVID-19 rules. Hong Kong says, oh no, we're not having no bans over here. All of y'all can be sick and all of y'all can die, but we're not going under any bans. They're like, forget the quarantine, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, just go and do what you do. Y'all, Algeria calls ambassador to Spain over stance on Western Sahara. The move came after Spain blocked Morocco's plan to give more autonomy while still maintaining ultimate control over the territory. So it looks like they got some conflict going on also. Y'all, Germany, Qatar agree on national gas partnership. So that's exciting. And then the Brazilian judge revokes days on Telegram ban. This is a messaging app which has allegedly been used to disseminate misinformation in Brazil. They're like, we're shutting that down, cut that off. All right, and Cherie, you had me cracking up yesterday talking about I was messing up your mornings last week on Wednesday and Thursday. Y'all some spoiled people, but I'm glad y'all love me. I love y'all too. All right, y'all, in other news, CBS is reporting that Russian court finds Meta, Facebook, guilty of extremist activities. Imagine that, right? Instagram and Facebook have been banned from the country, as I shared with y'all that a couple of weeks ago. But WhatsApp continues to operate. But now they're going to slap this extremist activity. They're just mad because some of the people in Russia got the real truth, the information. So I guess I need to say kudos to Mark Zuckerberg. All right, y'all. ABC News is reporting. Cherie says, you did it. I'm hooked on News and Motion. Aww. I love y'all. ABC News is reporting that Shanghai Disneyland and its resorts have closed indefinitely yesterday as the city is dealing with rising COVID-19 cases. I'm going to say this to you again. I see all kinds of alerts. I probably have seen in the past, maybe 20 hours on top of the ones I shared with y'all yesterday of alerts about this new COVID variant BA.2. Y'all do what y'all want to with it, but I'm here to give y'all the news. So Johns Hopkins, however, is reporting here in the U.S., the average U.S. COVID-19 cases have fallen between 26,000, below 26,000 per day. Now, the daily deaths have also dropped to around 700. So we do want to celebrate that, yes, but we also need to be cautious because we heard all of this COVID stuff in other countries before it came to us. Remember February, end of February, early March 2020? Looks like the same thing's happening. So y'all just do what you want to. All right, y'all. Fox 5 DC reports alcohol-related deaths rose 25% year over year during the first year of the pandemic. Y'all remember I talked about the alcohol addiction maybe about a year ago? Well, this is a study found in the Journal of American Medical Association. They're saying, watch out, watch out, watch out. Stephanie says, I'm so glad the numbers are going down. Me too. But trust me, if you still see me out, you see I'm gonna have a mask on. Don't talk about me. Pastor Alex said, that's still 700 too many. I agree with you. I approve of your message. Y'all, CNBC is reporting that Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway will acquire insurance provider Allegheny for $11.6 billion. Now, this is Berkshire's largest acquisition in 6 years. Y'all, how old is Warren Buffett? And he's still making the money. Hello, somebody. He's still making the money. He's still making deals. I'm going to plead to you again, Mr. Buffett. Can I just have 5 minutes with you? just 5 minutes. I just want to pick your brain. I want to understand how Black and brown people can rise to that occasion and be acquiring things such as what you just shared. Please, please, can I just have 5 minutes? I just want 5 minutes. All right, y'all, no music. Y'all didn't have music on your Apple products yesterday. Well, 15 of Apple's services, including podcasts, maps, and apps stores, and iCloud, they had an outage yesterday, but don't worry, they're back up. They're back up. All right, before I go to our focus story today, and we have two of them, they're going to feed into each other. Before I go to that, I want to back up to yesterday. Yeah, that was beautiful. That was music to my ears. Anytime we can have, well, this is a different story than this story, and the research, it got me into researching. But what I love is that you joined me in that research. Now, there was no one was wrong yesterday. Now, here's a few questions that I want to share with you. Number one, you always have to ask, where did the story come from? So 60 Minutes. I don't really watch 60 Minutes. I still didn't watch the program from Sunday about the housing boom or the lack of boom or whatever is happening. But y'all, about 60 Minutes, portions of that we were able to find out was already previously recorded. And to my understanding, they're going to be making some corrections on this Sunday. I don't know what corrections those are, but the information I shared here on News in Motion yesterday was within 12 to 15 hours. So the information with the housing was changing, but hear me, no one was wrong. But hear this as well. This is why we do our research. We have to keep digging. We have to keep looking. But I loved every moment of that. I love it when we can sit there and go, well, maybe you're right. Well, let me go check my facts again. Y'all, listen, and nothing's personal about it. It was great. So hats off to Pastor Alex and to Dr. Antoinette that brought that to my attention from 60 Minutes, and it moved me to go. I still didn't watch the segment, but to go and to do some research. With that being said, in any news source, you have to check more than one. So when we're looking at elections and at candidates and at spins and different things that are going on within our community, make sure you're looking at multiple sources. Now, I promise you I'm going to go watch 60 Minutes today. But listen, y'all, this is how we empower ourselves. And y'all, when I look back and I was thinking about this yesterday, that's who News in Motion, that's who we are. We are really an educated news source where we're giving you the education and the resources to go out and look. So we still see that the housing market is dropping. We still see that. And I went back to CNBC, I went to Forbes, I went to Fortune, I went to Business Insider, and homes are holding right about that $325,000 mark, where at one point those particular homes were going for anywhere from 460 to 498, sometimes to 500,000, depending upon the bidding. But right now they're holding at that number. Also, houses are dropping anywhere. They're on the market from no longer 24 to 48 hours to some, not all. Let me make sure I preface that. They have what we were able to find, and this number is still sketchy, is 47% are staying on longer, some 50 days, some 104 days, 138 days, up to 229 days is what we were finding in that bracket. It also depends upon the cities, the urban areas, the demographics that we're dealing with. So I wanted to bring that out as well. So that's the information there. Okay, y'all. We're going into equal pay, this message as we're going into our focus story. So Wall Street Journal is reporting that wage growth for American women has outpaced men for 6 straight months. Hello, somebody. According to the Atlanta Federal Reserve's wage tracker. Now, in February, wages for women were up about 4.4% compared to 4.1% for men from an earlier year. Now, y'all, back in December, women's wages gained outpaced men by 0.5%, the widest margin since 1997. Now, it pays to make a change. 31% of the women who changed jobs during the pandemic reported a salary increase of more than 30%. 28% of men reported a similar increase. Now, don't declare victory quite yet. Gender pay, couldn't even get that out. It's not over. Now, these numbers have much to do with the fact that women make up about 2/3 of the workforce in hear me, low paid jobs, most impacted by the pandemic. Now that we have reopened, employers are offering those jobs, are trying to entice employees with more gracious pay rates. Okay, they're trying to get the 40.3 million or 43 million people back to work. And now these people are negotiating their pay and they're not taking anything less than. There is an app, there is a website called glassdoor.com. Check it out. It helps you look at the going salary. I think if you get a membership, there is a pay. There's a free window, but there's also a paid window that will get you to more information. Kim Edmondson said, I love how you circle back to provide updates and clarity when needed. Hey, that's what we do. I was like, yes. And then I posted the articles yesterday on the thread as well. And I was so excited because I was like, yes, people are reading, they're searching. But of course, I had the two that always read and search. But hey, but it still gave me excitement. I hope more people joined us. All right, y'all, real quick about equal pay again. Full-time female workers still earn about 83 cents for every dollar a man makes, a number that has remained relatively unchanged for 28 years. Now, and women, though, have accounted for about 70% of the pandemic-related job losses, with over 1 million, I want y'all to hear this, with over 1 million women still out of the workforce compared to pre-pandemic numbers. I know I gave y'all a whole lot there. All right, so we'll probably circle back around that as well. The other thing I want you to notice is that we were going to talk about the housing, and we were going to have Sean, I can't think of his last name, who wrote the article for Bloomberg on the whole piece about the Black applicants with Wells Fargo. Well, he knew, and I knew. I said, I think I got to go to the Supreme Court nominee. And he says, well, that's good because I have to go do a story location. So this is the other thing about news. And y'all probably see this quite often. Maybe you don't pay as much attention to it. You can see in the news intro that somebody's going to be joining. And then at the end of the show, you're like, hey, what happened to that person? News cycle moves that fast. So sometimes we can't stay there too long because we got to move somebody out or move something out and move somebody back in. And after watching hours of that hearing yesterday, I said, oh no, that's where I'm going today. I did not mention her yesterday on purpose because I wanted to know if you were going to tune in on your own. Some of you did. Y'all were texting me back and forth yesterday. So here's the truth. I love that this hearing, it began towards the middle of Women's History Month. That excites me. It excites me so much. So with that, I'm going to have Isaiah play our Women's History Month video. Yeah, I was so excited yesterday. I actually cried, if I'm honest with you, to see this Black woman being sworn in before the committee hearing yesterday. Just to see her poise, her brilliance, her confidence, her boldness, her family, just everyone circled around her. She mentioned her parents. She mentioned her father in particular with his law background, her husband who sat there and cried. I don't know if y'all noticed him, but he was crying. The one daughter who just kept looking at her father as the camera was on her father. The fact that his parents were there, in-laws, and so many people, just all that she brings to the table put me in a place of just having a few tears myself. So the first image, as Isaiah puts this up to today, the Senate committee began confirmation hearings of Supreme Court nominee. There she is, right there, being sworn in, and her husband is off to the right or left, depending upon how you're looking at the screen of her. Just that smile and what she brings. If confirmed, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson will be the first Black woman to serve on the Supreme Court. If Democrats are united, they can confirm Ms. Jackson without any Republican support. So, yeah, Deborah, I love seeing the support circle she had. It was amazing. Y'all, that's how we support each other. So, y'all, again, if the key word is if Democrats are united, they can confirm her without any Republican support. Now, get this, y'all. This is the fourth time that she has been sitting before the Senate Judiciary Committee for an appointment. She was approved by bipartisan Senate to become vice chair of the U.S. Sentencing Commission. Y'all, even last year, she had bipartisan support, even all of the naysayers that you are hearing today. So what should we expect? What should we expect? Well, NPR is talking about we should expect tough questions today. We should expect they get 30 minutes of questions today. So it's going to be tough today. So I want to I'm going to do this, and he's never knowing when I'm about to bring him in here, but I want to bring in our media person in the background, one of our millennials, our young people, to join me to talk about what are your thoughts of seeing this Black woman um, uh, going through this confirmation hearing. So come on in, Isaiah. Come on in. He's like, oh man. Good morning.
Good morning, news in
Good morning. So
motion.
what do you think? What does it do for you?
It definitely it empowers me. Not only to see a woman of color be sworn in to the Supreme Court, but it also means that in the history of this country, we've come so far.
Yeah.
We're definitely, I don't want to use the word progressing, but we're kind of like elevating to like a higher status.
I love that.
Um and that's also inspirational to like so many young young girls of color as well, because they, if they see that, and you saw like the pride that she had, and like her
Hmm.
smile, and like the support system that she had. Her in-laws were there, her husband, her daughter. Husband was shedding tears, and it's not easy for like a man to shed tears in public, because we have to be that strong front for our family. Um, but it's just powerful for real. And I believe that, if a young girl sees that, they're gonna say like, or they're gonna think at least, that could be me in the next 15 years, or however many years it can be. And the main thing is that we have to have like a solid support system. I know, like, we might have, arguments with our families or stuff like that, but at the end of the day, family is all we got. So as long as we continue to support each other and actually be there for each other, and also communicate with each other, like, if if you have something that you're ambitious about, or like, if you have a goal that you want to chase, communicate that with your family, and you'll be surprised, they'll be able to like jump on that train with you and just take off.
I love that. While you're still here, I want to tell everyone, and as we're going to talk as well, the hearing process will last 4 days. Y'all saw yesterday, today, and Wednesday, both will begin at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Committee members will each get 30 minutes of questioning on time. And then on Wednesday for today, and then Wednesday, they'll get 20 minutes questioning. And then Thursday, she won't have to appear the last day. The committee will then hear from witnesses and the American Bar Association. So with that, Isaiah, being a young millennial, you're millennial, right? Or you're the
Um, All I know is that I was born in '02. I don't really pay attention to that whole Gen Z
I
millennial.
love that. I love that. He's like, I don't know, forget all that. But can you imagine yourself being questioned for 30 minutes by people on one side, they want you there, but on another side, they're not too sure they want you there?
Um, for 30 minutes being questioned, I feel like I feel like I could handle it. I'm more of a behind the scenes type of guy. My mom can attest to this because when she asked me to start her live streams, I'm like, okay, I can do this, but I I got to be ad libbing sometimes because I'm usually behind the cameras. But to for me to have one side support me, but then another side support me, I feel like it's intriguing. It creates that societal clash. Um, Miss
Okay.
Mama Don questioned him for a
Yeah,
long.
she knows she's proud. So well, thank you for hanging out with me a little bit today. I appreciate that. I'm always curious and wanting to hear from you. The work that you're doing here with News and Motion with other outlets is absolutely phenomenal. So every time I get an opportunity to put you out front to also just brag about you and highlight you, I plan on doing so. So thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone who is currently watching. You are watching News and Motion with Gail Dudley.
thanks thanks nephew. All right, y'all, listen, because I get what I get from the White House. So listen, check this out. Some part, we're still in the focus story today. Some of what's happening, and this is coming out of USA Today. I want to highlight a few things that you should look for and watch for as this hearing is going forward. One of the things I want to share with you, as the GOP are coming out trying to get her, they put out the critical race theory yesterday. They put out how she has voted on previous issues. Holly had a lot to say. So let me just share. I'm going to point these few things out with you for you. Number one, it says in a deeper view of Jackson's opinions on the federal district court in Washington, D.C., paints a more nuanced picture, including the number of instances in which she sided with the Republican administration and against the same left-leaning groups that now supports her confirmation. I just want y'all to hear this. Here's another thing. Nearly 600 she handed down during her 8 years on the federal trial court. The same critics never mentioned that Jackson sided with Trump, I had to use his name, in a challenge to his controversial border wall. She sided with him. Here's another one. While some of Jackson's past opinions may undercut criticism on the right, they provide little clarity on how she would approach work on the Supreme Court. But hold on. In a 120-page opinion handed down a few days before Thanksgiving 2019, Jackson rejected Trump's claim of absolute immunity from congressional subpoenas and ruled the president could not prevent aides from responding to them. But hold on, I keep going. It says months earlier, in a case that received less attention on the right, Jackson sided with Trump in a lawsuit filed by environmental groups. And then one more, Jackson ruled the Trump administration had followed the required federal procedures for implementing the rule and wrote that the programs did not violate due process protection guaranteed in the Constitution. All in all, when we get to the bottom of how Judge Jackson has ruled over the past, let's say, 4 years, she sided more with Trump and the Republicans, the GOP, than against. I thought I would bring that out to all of you. So that's one thing. And then we have Josh Hawley. I'm not going to really go through a lot. This also came from the White House. I'm not going to go through a lot of what was happening there. But this is what, if you're tuning in, these are the things I want you to hopefully look for. Y'all can say classes in section. Biographical information. You can find this by going to uscourts.gov. You can find everything you want on her from uscourts.gov. They're going to go to education. They're going to list each of her colleges, college and law schools that she has attended. They're going to look at her employment record, all government agencies, businesses, and professional corporation. Elizabeth Town said, listen, they were showing the support of her balance, Elizabeth. And I thought that's great. And the reason I brought this out today, first of all, it's news, it's fact. I want to share this with you. But the other reason I brought this out is that the White House, the one that produced the document, when you go through U.S. courts, that uscourts.gov that I just gave you, you can see every time she sided with the Trump administration. But it was fair and balanced, which means she goes by the law and not by partisan politics, which as a Supreme Court judge, she should not operate in partisan politics in the first place. That's the number one rule. So I see you, Elizabeth. I even said, nobody's talking about that on the left, but that's really happening. That happened. So the other thing is her writings and speeches, the things that come about with that list of titles, the publishers and dates of books, articles, reports, letters to the editor, editorial pieces, or other published material that they have written and or edited. Even if she or he or whomever is running at this point, it is Ketanji Brown Jackson, everything that she's done will come forward to see her fair and balanced. That's what they're looking for. At least that's what they should be looking for. And then also any citations. They ask for them to provide citations for all opinions that they have written, including concurrences and dissents. So all of that information is what they should be focused on. When you hear them bring in police reform or defund the police or critical race theory, y'all know they're playing politics. They're using their sound bites and they're trying to encourage their base, if you will. John Gore said, absolutely, I agree. Fairness of the law is the top and only priority. Absolutely, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. So y'all, that's what should be the highlight over the next, the following 3 days. Y'all know it's not going to be, so be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. Now, here's the other thing, and Isaiah has this picture, and I think I did a post on this yesterday. I think I really did do a post on this yesterday. The look. Isaiah, put that picture up, please. Now, y'all, here's the truth. Black women got the look. I think we just inherited. I don't know how we can get rid of it or anything like this. So she's going to be able to handle herself. I think she's just going to give them the look. Like, where'd that come from? And she's going to smile, but she's also bracing herself for sure. Elizabeth Town said, on the side of the law for the people, there's a difference. Give me a little bit more on that, Elizabeth. When you say on the side of the law for the people, there's a difference. Yeah, Kim Edmondson, the look. She has a look. And she pulled that look several times yesterday. I said, uh-oh, she's not feeling that. Or uh-oh, she's going to get them. Or uh-oh, she really wants to respond to that. But she couldn't at that time. Elizabeth said, we all knew what that meant. That look meant like, really, I really have something I want to say to you, but I'm going to just hold it. Katrina says, yes, we do. I don't want to get rid of it. I don't want to get rid of it either. Yes, Davia, we give face. It's all in our face. And we try sometimes to hold it, but it's all in our face. The other thing they're going to be looking for is financial data and conflict of interest. They're going to be looking at a list of resources and amount of all income received during the calendar year preceding the nomination. They're looking to see if they ever held a position and played a role in the political campaign. Now, remember, this is her 4th time before the Senate committee. If they haven't found anything yet, they're not going to find anything this time either. John said the look is the Black woman DNA. I'm telling you, and Shirley, you're right, the neck. And she kind of gave the neck a little bit yesterday, too. The other thing, the American Bar Association commentary to its code of conduct They talked about their whole inappropriate for a judge to hold membership in any organization. So that's going to be interesting as well. Now, these organizations that would be discriminating against the basis of race, sex, or religion, then ask them to list all businesses, clubs, social clubs, fraternal organizations, and so forth. The other thing they're going to want to find out in this data and information, has anyone involved in the process or of selecting this nominee included but not limited to member of the White House staff, meaning anybody else. Is talking about pay for hire, so to speak, if I can put it out there like that. But again, she's clean. She's good. She's clean. And then they'll ask her to discuss her views on the roles that she's had previously. So that's some more information there. But I ain't done. I want to give y'all everything I have here. The other thing that's so important, here's the process. All right, y'all. Elizabeth said, on the side of law and available to speak towards reform, fairness, redistribution of funds. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Y'all know sometimes when I see y'all's comment, I'm like, wait a minute, what did I say? Where did it come from? But I got you now. I see where you're going with that. So y'all, here's the thing that they do. They have primary documentation. So what you need to look for, if you are watching this and following this, and we also have high schoolers watching this today. Sorry, I meant to shout y'all out earlier. What you're going to do when y'all start watching in your classroom at 9 a.m. this morning, Eastern time, the primary documents, they're going to, the Senate committee chair will go through all of the documentations. If you listen to him yesterday, after it was over yesterday, he let them know, we're not going to play these games. No, we're not doing that. You're not going to pull up stuff. So they may have 30 minutes, but he's going to be cutting them. They're going to be watching. All of the aides are going to be in the room today as well. I was on a live with the White House press pool on yesterday, and one of those questions came up, and they said they're going to have the aides constantly give them information. So if you're watching, you will see the aides who normally sit behind them against the wall, and they will normally have different devices, and they are communicating, they are fact checking, and they are sending it. I said, man, what a place to be if you were one of the fact checkers, which means these people have to know how to research and pull up information immediately, because when something's said, they're going to be forwarding that to the Senate chair of the committee so that the Senate chair can then call them on it. Their goal is to make sure this information stay before the public view constantly. They're going to be calling them. So watch that. When you see them get up and go and whisper in their ear or pass a paper, they're fact checking everything that's being said. Y'all, this is great. I love it. Y'all can see I'm on a high already. I can't wait to 9 o'clock because I want to be a part of seeing this unfold. There's also a small group process that are in other rooms. The small group process are also fact checking, and they're sending text messages to the aides. And this is happening on both sides, both the GOP and the Democratic side. They're happening. They're putting stuff out there. They're also going to be watching Twitter. Believe it or not, they're going to have social media people who are going to be watching the social media platforms on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Snapchat and WhatsApp and Facebook and wherever else. I think I called them all. And if they see that the constituents are going one way or the other, you will notice they will be pulling them to back off. They have to, the GOP, and I'm calling out the GOP on purpose. I'm not siding one way or the other. I'm calling out them on purpose. They're going to have to be very careful, because this is the first Black woman who has been nominated to the Supreme Court, who's actually in the chamber. They have to travel a fine line, because what the midterms elections, the primaries are already starting to come out. The midterm elections are in November. They want to be careful. They want to be careful. So you also have them trying to have this balancing act right now as well, y'all. I'm so excited. Thank you, John Gore. That's my goal, is to always bring education. The other thing, you're going to have the independent analysis. Y'all was digging through this. I'm just so like, I want to be in the room. So the independent analysis, this is where participants work independently to select and review several of the profiles. So they're there just to review the profiles. They're there. Now, you will never see them feeding her information. You'll never see them feeding any nominee and the information. They may get the information when they take a break, but you never see them. You never see them with the, you never see any of that's happening. But there are independent analysis watching this. They're watching the trends. They're watching the number of Google hits that are happening. Y'all, this is so exciting. This all started in Women's History Month. Then you have the revisit of the primary documents. They're going to keep going back to previous documents. They're going to keep going back to previous cases. They're going to keep going back. So then we do have Josh Hawley. I didn't want to talk about it, but he has twisted much of what's happening. There is a standard. She did not advocate for porn, for people who use porn to go free. That's not what she did. There's a rule. There's a standard. And I can't put this all out here today, and I can't release these things. I can pull out information. So what I'll try to do is pull out information and put it on here. But this information is available. When I read this and saw all the fact check of Josh Hawley, it's like he should be ashamed of himself to put these kind of spins. There's 6 pages of this dude and things that he said. And it's like, why? Why is that important to try to hurt this woman's chances? Again, if all Democrats vote, she will get in. They won't need any Republicans. But you got to worry about who? Manchin and Sinema. We got to worry about those two. But Lindsey Graham, he's interesting because Lindsey Graham voted for her unanimously 3 times before. It's going to be very hard for him not to vote in favor this time as well. So we have that. Then we have the testimony. The testimony. Thursday, don't think because it's over Wednesday with her that Thursday is going to be any less of the deal. No, Thursday is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And we want to hear from the people on Thursday. So y'all, a lot to cover there. I only have a short period of time. Now, the Democrats are hoping to finish Jackson's confirmation process before Congress leave for Easter recess on April the 11th. So all we can do is pray for that and hope that that happens. Y'all, I went over time, but I thought that was so important. So let me give you the inspirational message real quick. The inspirational message is a question. Do you love me? Do you love me? John 14:23-24, the NIV says, Jesus replied, anyone who loves me will obey my teaching. My Father will love them and he will come to them and make our home with them. Anyone who does not love me will not obey my teaching. These words you hear are not my own. They belong to the Father who sent me. Do you love me? Is a question I want to ask all of you when it comes to Jesus. He's asking us this question. Do you love me? He says, if you love me, you will obey my teachings. Wow. So does that mean we don't love him if we don't obey? Well, there's grace, so we can get excited for grace. But I have another scripture I want to read to you. 1 John chapter 2, verses 15 through 17, from the English Standard Version. And it says, do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and pride of life, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away along with its desires. But whoever does the will of God abides forever. What did I just read? And how did I bring these two things together? So many of us love success. We love our homes. We love our family. We love our spouse. We love our children. We love our jobs. We love, 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 love. But we got to be careful that we don't love those things more than we love God. We ask God to bless us. We ask God to give us victory. We ask God to propel us forward. We're always asking God for all these things. But do we ask him to strengthen the love for one another in a love relationship with him? Do we take the time to love our neighbor as we love ourselves? Because that love, when we love our neighbor as we love ourselves, we're also loving Jesus. Jesus comes that we may have life and have it in abundance. But so many of us focus on the abundance more so than we focus on the love that we have for Jesus. Do we love him enough to obey him? Do we love him enough to be still and to know that he is God? Do we love him enough to surrender? Do we love God enough? Do we love him more than the things that we acquire? Do we love him more than the things that we're asking him for? Do we love him more than our healing? Do we love him more than reconciliation? Do we love the Lord? Do we love him? Today, I want you to really step back and ask yourself the question every time you do something. Do I love Jesus more than my job? Do I love Jesus more than my bank account? Do I love Jesus more than the car that I drive? Do I love Jesus more than asking him to heal me? Do I love the Lord? Do I love him? Y'all, this Lent has opened up my eyes to all sorts of things, all types of things. And I'm like, God, why didn't I ever see these things before? Which led me to say, I say I love you, but do I really love you? Am I willing to surrender everything that you have blessed me with and given to me if love trumped these things? Why am I whining and complaining about my hair thinning? Don't I love you more than my hair thinning? Don't I love you more than trying to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds to be exact? Do I love you more than trying to fix everything around me? Yesterday, I started giving up social media from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. That was the most difficult thing. Why was it difficult? Because I challenged myself out of the book, The 40 Days of Sugar Fast. She had a thing in there about social media. And she says, we got to make sure, I think I talked about this yesterday, we got to make sure we're not replacing sugar with something else, that we're running to something else instead of running to Jesus. So I gave up social media at 5 o'clock every day. So I'm on it until 5 o'clock Eastern time, and then I'll let go of it until the next day. Yesterday was my first day. It was the most difficult thing. I was trying to find a reason to be on that phone. I had to ask myself the question, don't I love Jesus more than this phone? More than seeing what people are doing, more than commenting, more than scrolling, more than being so excited about the pictures. Now, hear me. There is nothing wrong with social media. There is nothing wrong with the pictures or the images. But the question is, do we continuously squeeze out Jesus because we're running to something else? A lot to think about. Kim Edmondson said, yesterday I had to surrender my fix-it mentality. Yes, sis, we fix things. We're fixing things. And Jesus says, why are you fixing them? I'm operating this whole thing. I already know what it's going to be like. I just need you to be still. Get out of it. But this is what we do. This is what we do. Yes, Stephanie, more than. Yeah. All right, y'all. Stay well. And today, be intentional with making a bold move, but making sure that move has Jesus in it. Yes, Pastor Alex, this is about relationship and not religion. Yeah. John Gore, you're right. Get out of your own way. Yeah. I'll share this with y'all now on Holy Week, which begins April the 10th. That week, we're going to observe from giving the news, but we're going to do inspirational messages Monday through Good Friday. Now, the thing is, I won't be live. We're going to record all of those and post those because I'm taking that week off. But we're going to give an inspirational message. We weren't going to do anything. We're going to think about doing old videos. But the Lord said, no, you're going to give an inspirational message. They may be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know. But there'll be an inspirational message on the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th, the week of April. So if you know anybody who needs a dose of inspiration, make sure they tune in during that week. All right, y'all, that's all I have. I'm out.